Hello and welcome to My Mom's Basement presented by Barstool Sports and 3G. I am your host, Robbie Fox, and this is a very special episode. We have Clem, we have KFC. I'm glad KFC's here. It makes it feel a little more special having the three-man crew. This is the 200th episode of My Mom's Basement. It's
Hey,
not episode 200. We kind of took after George Lucas and made our numbering system real confusing because we have bonus episodes and we have
right,
other things that are just not numbered in the system correctly. But
right,
this is the official 200th episode of My Mom's Basement. It's like, WrestleMania 2000 wasn't the 2000th WrestleMania.
right.
My Mom's Basement 200 will not be the 200th episode of My Mom's Basement. It'll be like the 400th or something.
I was gonna say the fact that that means it's more than 200, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
that's good for you, man. It's a big number. You're getting up there. It took me a while to get into the hundreds of episodes with KC Radio back in the day, just doing once a week. So that's a big number. You should be proud of it.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? Thank you to all the listeners that have been here either from the beginning. If you joined recently for the WandaVision, Loki recaps, that stuff, I appreciate everyone who's listened, sent in questions. This is like my favorite thing I do at Barstool. So I feel very
Oh yeah.
fortunate that I've been able to do this for 200 episodes. Clem has joined for most of them. Dana White has joined for like half of them as well. Shout out to Uncle Dana. But yeah, Dana White is also on My Mom's Basement this week. Go check out the new interview on YouTube. We talked all about his new show, The Ultimate Surfer, which is after Bachelor in Paradise. We didn't even touch on fighting. It's the first interview with Uncle Dana where we talked all about surfing. It was actually a lot of fun because I didn't know how into surfing he was. So there was like a very genuine curiosity from me for a lot of that stuff. So go check that out now if you haven't already.
I feel like Dana is like, it's funny that he's like a surfer bro. Cause I always
Crazy.
think of
He loves it.
surfing as like zen and kind of like
Yeah.
relaxed in a way. And he's obviously like UFC and MMA is like,
And he's
it's
bald
like,
too. I said
yeah,
to him, I said,
Yeah.
sometimes people say to me, you're too skinny to cover MMA. I said, getting into the surfing world, are people ever like,
You're
you're
bald.
bald? And he said, no, he linked up with Kelly Slater right
I
away.
was gonna
He's the bald
say,
guy.
yeah, I once made a rep. I tried to make a joke like that. I knew the name Kelly Slater. I never knew what he looked like. And I said something like, I just want to have like surfer hair, like look like Kelly Slater. And everyone's like, no, dude. Complete opposite.
Oh, that's funny. But we're here to recap What If. It's episode 4 of What If. And oh boy, it's a depressing episode, boys.
Brother, I know it's depressing, but that was a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah, this was we called the first episode like a stand-up double. We called the next one like a triple. I would call this one a home run. This was my favorite What If by far.
I mean, if this was like a live action movie and like a 2-hour thing where they really fleshed it out, I mean, I think this would be,
Yeah, that's a full story right there. You could make a movie out of this What If
And
episode.
actually, funny enough for myself, I just watched Doctor Strange for the first
really?
time, so like just a week ago. So
Pretty good, right?
Well, I saw, and I wonder if this ties all into the trailer as well, because it's like Doctor Strange and Spider-Man was so heavy in that trailer episode, and then it got me thinking because I had said the Doctor Strange I know from Endgame and the later compilation movies, he's so like, we must protect the world and not take any risks. And then I had people being like, well, he was kind of a cocky, arrogant dude who like wanted what he wanted. And I was like, oh, word. Okay, let me check that out. So I just went and watched it. So this wouldn't have made nearly as much sense to me.
Yeah,
had
really,
I not
yeah.
seen that. And then I'm so happy I did, because that was amazing. Do you think that they released the What If with Doctor Strange coming right on the heels of that trailer? Does that make sense, or is that too conspiracy theory?
No, I think it's a possibility. Someone tweeted me that right before we started the podcast and said, I think, maybe the evil Doctor Strange is that Doctor Strange we saw messing with Peter Parker or something. And I sort of agree now. The evil Doctor Strange in this is obviously like ends the universe. I don't know if how they would necessarily do that, but they could bring him in from a branched reality or something. And I really think What If is really just going to catapult a bunch of stories. I think it's going to be almost the new comic books for MCU, where they could like test things out, see what works, and the stuff that people love. Why not bring it in if people love it? Like I think Captain Carter, you could bring Haley Atwell in and put her in the suit and like a little cameo, and people would lose their minds for it. Evil Doctor Strange, people would lose their minds for it. It's such a shame you can't do the Chadwick Boseman Star-Lord. Like that was such a
Yeah, that
good
would have been
Yeah.
character.
cool.
People would love to see that costume in live action and stuff. Maybe one day down the line we'll see like a nice Thanos chilling in the background with Howard the Duck.
Imagine,
Don't
Clem.
tease me, Bob. Don't tease me right now. Oh, Kev, I was so happy you got this episode too, because I was like, was this one strange enough for you? Was it crazy enough for you, Kev? Because I feel
I
like
loved
this goes
it.
into your nerdy sci-fi,
Yes.
kind of
Yeah,
shit.
and kind of what Bob said maybe is true, because when the real diehards will say, "Oh, in the comics, that's actually what happened," or "Oh, you see that right there? That's what happened in the comics." I hope that I hope they have to reference What If.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, the bad Doctor Strange is from What If. We saw what happens to him when he loses something he loves. He'll go to the end of the world to do it. So it makes sense. Yeah. What if Tom Holland? What if Peter Parker is pulling on his heartstrings because he's like, I lost the love of my life because of this, and he's thinking about the way he lost his love of his life, or whatever. Maybe that makes sense, but. I mean, you know what I really appreciate about this, and any show that does this, sometimes when you just don't do a happy ending, when you just don't
Yes.
wrap it up in a bow, and you don't pull the rug out at the last second. Oh, actually, we time stone reversed it, and it's all good. It was just like, yeah, man, you fucked up, and you ruined the whole goddamn universe.
And I
because
like
of
the
it.
tease of the happy ending too, which we'll get to later. But when he actually like gets powerful enough to like sense the Watcher and acknowledge him and ask him for help, and the Watcher's like, "Sorry, bro,
Nope.
I'm the fucking
Nope.
Watcher. I'm not the doer."
Yeah, man, that was so good, so good.
Go
I
ahead.
actually had, so when this had started and everything, I was like, oh yeah, who was the girl? Because I had seen Doctor Strange. It's been a while though. I was like, who was the girl again? And then I remember it was Rachel McAdams. I'm like, oh yeah, if Rachel McAdams died in my like fucking car right next to me, the love of my life, like there's no human on the planet other than my wife. Actually, let me say that one. That if I saw them die right in front of me, because Rachel, I have this. This has been my long-standing take. Claire Cleary in Wedding Crashers is the number one dream girl in any, reality fiction, TV movies, whatever you want to call it. I love her in that fucking, it's crazy. Honestly, to this day, my brain cannot wrap that Rachel McAdams plays Claire Cleary and she plays Regina from Mean Girls, right?
Yeah.
It's like, that's the same fucking chick. She could be so evil yet so pure. So it all makes perfect sense. As someone that forgot that part about Doctor Strange, I could clearly see going to the dark side to bring that fucking gem of a human back to real life.
Hell yeah, man.
And if you've ever seen Southpaw, that's like what the whole movie's about. Is that she dies and the Jake Gyllenhaal's like, I'm gonna go to the ends of the earth to fucking avenge that.
Yeah. No, well, let's get into the recap. But I mean, I would be doing this shit in a heartbeat. If I had powers like that, I'd be like, yeah, we'll roll the dice. We'll figure it out.
Hey guys, sorry to cut off the pod, but I got to tell everyone about Cuts Clothing. To mark their 5-year anniversary this year, they are having a month-long celebration across their entire website. Get ready and stay ready for any occasion with clothes that combine classic designs, universally flattering fits, and next-level flexible technology. GQ magazine calls the classic Pika Pro Tri-Blend tee the only tee worth wearing for a reason. Cuts hoodies are also some of the best in the game. I've got a couple in my closet, and they are the most comfortable hoodies I own. I swear by them. This month, there's 2 collection drops, a whole new product launch, and a week-long special event. So go to cutsclothing.com/basement right now to check it out, and you'll get 15% off access to all anniversary events all month long with the code BASEMENT. Go to cutsclothing.com/basement, and you can shop their new anniversary collection. Yeah, so we start off with Doctor Strange picking Christine up. This is Rachel McAdams. They get into the car accident together this time. Obviously, in the movie, it's just Doctor Strange alone. He's driving recklessly, and he loses his hands. This episode says he loses his heart in Christine. He still becomes Doctor Strange. He still defeats Dormammu, which I'm glad you saw that, by the way, Kevin. One of the coolest boss battles in Marvel, right? The fact that it's just like talking through it.
When he just keeps appearing like that, so good. And like
I've come to
Dormammu
bargain.
just being like, what is this? Stop it.
Yeah, so great. I love that. Still defeats him, still becomes Doctor Strange and all that. And this is 2 years later on the anniversary of her death. He's just staring out the window of the sanctum, and Wong comes over to him. He's like, so sorry. 2 years, it's actually Wong's voice, which we say it every week. It makes it so much better that it's their actual voices. So much better.
Yep.
And he says, don't do anything stupid. He's like, come down before you do something stupid. Doctor Strange looks at the eye and he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna do something stupid. He goes back in time, he tries to save her, and she dies again, even though he didn't drive recklessly this time. She dies. He goes back. He does it again. He decides, all right, let's stay at the banquet this time. She dies again. He decides, let's go out to eat this time. Someone walks in and fucking shoots her. That was one of the darkest.
Yeah.
Like,
That was dark.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
holy shit. And we learn that she just dies over and over and over again because the Ancient One comes down and tells Doctor Strange this was an absolute point in time, which I thought was maybe an insensitive term for what had happened to her. She's like, oh, this is an absolute moment, bro. But we see she dies over and over again. It's really like wearing on Doctor Strange clearly. And he's like, I'm gonna use some dark magic. So she's like, don't do this. She puts up the little defense against him, and he says, you'll have to find me first. So he goes to this ancient library. Looks awesome. Looks like something out of Tomb Raider or something.
Yes.
And he starts studying dark magic there, where he learns he has to absorb other beings, demons, to become more powerful to bring his loved one back from the death. Kind of Anakin Skywalker vibes. If you're into Star Wars, like Anakin losing Padme, him sensing that he's about to lose Padme, that's what made him go into the dark side. So, did you get the same thing from that, Clem?
Have you ever heard the story of Darth Plagueis? That's right in my notes right here. Felt very Anakin like, all that kind of thing. And if you want to even go back to when she keeps dying over and over again, I that was very Groundhog's Day when the homeless guy keeps dying, and
the way they did that, very Groundhog's Day.
It's like even when he's feeding him, he choked. It's like it's every single time, and it's kind of fucked up because again, love Rachel McAdams and any character she basically plays. I was kind of laughing though that she was basically getting Uncle Ben every time. She's just dead.
Man, the saddest. It's when he stands her up and he leaves her there. And he's drinking
watching
in the
news,
bar and she just dies in like a fire or some shit.
Some accident. Yeah.
It was just, that was gut. I mean, you lose a little bit of the gravitas on the animation, if this was a live action and every time he's like holding her face as she dies, it would be fucking waterworks for me. But yeah.
Credit to them for like still making it emotional. It's almost like they're like, fighting uphill to make you like feel those, and they did it. It was very sad. It was very. I said to my girlfriend, I was like, I can't believe kids are gonna watch this. Like the last 3 episodes are so funny. They're so like, oh my God, Thanos is a good guy. Look at the duck and
couple that with the ending. It's like, mommy, like what happened? Like, I don't fucking know, kid. Apparently we're all dead.
The universe has been destroyed, sweetie. Everyone's gone.
I asked Sienna to watch this with me and she was like, no, I'm good. Like she wanted to watch whatever she was watching. Thank God, because I would have scarred her for life more than the human trafficking thing. Bob didn't give me the heads up about Black Widow on the giant big screen in the movie theater. How about Stephen Strange too? Like he clearly did this because he had the fucking sweet car with the doors, but the move where you open the door for the girl and she goes in, like that's something I probably did in the beginning when I first started dating my wife, and it's something I wish I did more, but like that's such a fucking sweet move to pull that move. The pull the chair out, do the door thing. Those are two like old school chivalrous moves that I feel like are definitely lost today. That again, he wouldn't have done if his car wasn't just fucking, if it was a typical pull open door, he wouldn't have done. He just wanted to show off. He's flexing.
He's flexing. He goes and starts to summon these beasts. The first one he summons, did you guys get the sense that was the Hydra beast from episode 1, the tentacles?
Oh, yeah. I was thinking that too. Yeah.
I didn't know if it was or wasn't, because they didn't really, I felt like if it was, they would have maybe acknowledged it more. But I just got the same vibes from that. The tentacles come up and he realizes like that's too much. So he summons like a little garden gnome demon and he starts summoning these little things little by little. The bug freaked me out. He said he didn't fuck with bugs. I don't fuck with bugs. So I didn't like that scene at all. He takes the cape off of it and whatever.
I thought it was so cool the way he absorbed them, like
with the eyes and the mouth. That was talk about horror movie shit. That's like, oh my God, Dr. Strange.
And the way
no heroes do that.
He would quickly like have wings for a second and then become Strange and get like a snout for a second and then become human.
And like good foreshadowing for what he's gonna look like later in the episode, which thank fucking God Sienna didn't watch that with you, Clem. That was one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen.
That should be like rated R, fucking rated R, NC-17.
Yeah, I also love the parallels in this of like in Doctor Strange the movie, he's a dick who eventually becomes a great guy, and in this he's kind of a great guy. Like in the beginning with Rachel McAdams, he doesn't seem like a dick, and then he becomes this evil demon, literally.
Can we also just agree that the gnome he absorbs is David the gnome from Nickelodeon back in the day? I don't know if I'm dating myself with them, but it's like that would just be an absurd thing that he absorbs his fucking being, even though he's evil.
Well, he maybe absorbed Mephisto in there too. Can we talk about that?
Oh, Jesus
Christ.
1000% Mephisto.
If I hear another
Mephisto confirmed.
Mephisto, if I hear Mephisto's fucking name one more time without seeing the son of a bitch, I'm gonna kill you guys.
I don't know. It kind of looked like Mephisto. He had red. I had the yellow eyes. Looked like a devil.
Can we also let's throw this on the list of whatever all the fucking shit Vision used to drop all the knowledge. That line, love can break more than your heart. It can shatter your mind. Anybody who's ever fallen in and out of love or just like a crush can fucking shatter your mind. I've had fucking crushes that have shattered my mind.
Rachel McAdams, yeah.
Yeah, Rachel McAdams. I mean, I could just, God damn, man, that was a hell of a line.
Dude,
Marvel.
I'm telling you, that episode's a fucking masterpiece
really
of entertainment. It goes deep, dude, deep.
Yeah,
because it's like obviously time travel is not possible, but it's more about like when you are when you are dumped and you're living in the past and trying to, I wish it was this way, but it can't ever be that way again, and you have to move on, or maybe not the universe, but your universe will like come closing in. It's very, very good.
And the weight that they added onto it, literally, that like this is the most powerful sorcerer in the universe, and he's about to destroy the universe. Like the fact that they add that weight onto it was awesome. So he gets more power hungry. He finally goes back to the regular world where like Wong was like, hey, don't do anything stupid. He walks outside and he's like, fuck, what was in that whiskey last night? Because everyone looks like they're almost like disintegrating into like lava lamps, like black lava lamps. There's this oil stuff coming off of them.
Papa Shango. Think Papa Shango melting the Ultimate Warrior's boots.
As Papa Shango spells over everyone. He's like, holy fuck, what was in the 3 chi I took last night? And the ancient one comes down and she lets him know that when he eventually went off, she split him into 2 parts. So there's an evil Doctor Strange and there's a normal Doctor Strange. He's like, I have a fucking evil twin. This is crazy. So she wanted to split the timelines to make sure the world wouldn't collapse, but it's still sort of collapsing. She's like, you got to go stop him. He goes to confront the evil Doctor Strange, and the evil Doctor Strange looks almost like last week when we saw, or was it last? Yeah, it was last week when we saw Michael Douglas with like the blacked out eyes, and he was like a little like fucked up looking. And he tells him like, we can bring her back if we combine our powers together. We can go back to the site of the accident. We could bring her back. He's like, we definitely can't do that, bro.
Reminded me of in a weird way. I don't know why this is in my head. Jafar versus the genie in Aladdin. Like when
Evil Strange had some Jafar vibes with the cape, like the long collar,
cape and the pointy chin, the dark eyes, and then he became like this monster. Like when Jafar's the red genie. You wrote that down too?
I wrote that in my notes. And Kev, you used to always talk about Jafar the old man. That was always like a staple for the KFC blogs back in the day. And my exact one was got big time Jafar vibes at the end of Aladdin when he's turning into the genie. The same exact fucking thing, man.
That is just tremendous. I love that. That's like Dave and Dan picking all the same things on the Showtime pay-per-view. We got chemistry just as well right here. Yeah. So they eventually get into this fight, a crazy fight, awesome animation, awesome CGI all over this, just crazy stuff. The capes fight with each other like that was cool little thing.
The cape getting ripped broke me too. I love the cape. He's one of my favorite like characters in the MCU.
He's like Magic Carpet.
Yeah,
yes, exactly. Wow.
Look at that. Yeah, the cape getting ripped was brutal. And eventually, Evil Strange fucking absorbs Doctor Strange, like straight up absorbs him in the eyes, of the mouth. Oh my God. And he brings back Christine, but not in the way he thought he was going to bring her back, because he becomes this fucking terrifying monster demon, the grossest thing you could imagine. I don't even know what you could compare him to. He's got wings. He's got this gross gray face. He's still got his voice, but it's sort of demented now. And he's like, Christine. She's like, oh my God, Strange. She's terrified of him. She almost backs up off a cliff. And then this is where he realizes, I think I fucked up. He kind of goes back to the Evil Strange look, and he asks the Watcher for help. He sees the Watcher in the sky, and he kind of like, they alluded to this earlier when the Watcher did a little narration, and he was like, who's that? What was that?
Yeah.
But he's like, can you help me? I regret this. Like, I didn't mean to do this. And the Watcher tells him, I'm just the Watcher. I'm sorry. I can't interfere in any of this stuff. Kind of fades back into Bolivian, and the universe is destroyed. Christine dies again, and that's it. He says, sometimes the entire universe can collapse on off one decision or whatever.
That's what I don't get though, is like if there are these absolute points, like she said, it's an absolute point because if she doesn't die, you don't go on to become the Sorcerer Supreme and stop Dormammu. Then
Obviously, that's just in this universe, right? Because like,
oh, okay,
it has to be because I don't know where the switch might have happened for them. I wish they would have made a more clear, because I thought the same thing. It confused me in the beginning. They need like a more clear nexus point, almost like in the beginning where what was the first one where it was like, oh, it was Haley Atwell, and it was like, what if she decided not to go back to the booth, Peggy Carter, and that was what sparked the branched reality.
Yes.
We didn't really get that for this one. We kind of started in a branched reality, I think.
Yeah, I get, but just more to my point being like, if this had to happen to save the universe over here, then why are we just able to let the universe collapse over in this world? You know what I mean?
It's a good question. That was a bit confusing.
It's like if absolute points exist to preserve the universe, then how come the Watcher and company can just let this other shit happen? Unless it was like he's so powerful that he almost became what he thought was a god and no one could stop him. But it just seemed like if absolute points exist for a reason, then why wasn't there an absolute point to stop this one from happening? Or was, if this is just one universe that goes away and there's a million others, then it's no big deal. But if it was like this was the existence of the world and it just happened, that I don't quite get. But also whatever, it's just a fucking What If episode.
I actually talked to the Watcher about this, and you know what he said? He goes, motherfucker, I got that Disney money. I'm gonna let the whole universe go. They said they needed to show some what ifs, and I said, just destroy this universe. He's got a blank check from Mickey Mouse, and he's fucking just like, let it just go.
Yeah, because the Watcher has to be in some other universe, right? Or I don't know.
Yeah.
Is he in like
he's got to be overseeing, even
else.
the destroyed universes or something.
Yeah.
By the way, I feel like the Watcher's a bit sus. I know we haven't been doing sus lists for this, but like he might come in later in the series, right? Like actually interfere.
Stunned if he doesn't interfere at some point, right? Or that could be a what if.
It'd be kind of a cool it'd be kind of a cool oh shit moment if he interfered in like a bad way. If he revealed himself to be like almost a Kang type.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. Oh, because I mean, I'm sure like the What If comics, I'm sure there's like Galactus shit and Kang stuff. Like,
where does the Watcher rank? Like, is he like a ego or whatever? Or
that's a question I would love to learn.
Because he says, you're not a god and I'm not either. So it's like, all right, you're not like a god, you're not like in control of everything, but you seem to be on some extra level. So wait, are you a Thanos? Are you a Kang? Are you a ego? Like where's your power ranking? I hope that's like the last episode of the season as we get some Watcher. Who's the voice of that, by the way?
It's Jeffrey Wright from Westworld.
Yes, I knew.
He's been in Hunger Games. He's going to be Commissioner Gordon in the new Batman.
I knew it was a black guy, and I knew that voice, and I just couldn't place it. But yes.
By the way, speaking of the new Batman, there were rumors this week that the first test screening happened, and an audience was showed a 3-hour cut of the movie, and they said it bordered on thriller horror. Paul Dano was fucking terrifying as the Riddler, and that Pattinson was tremendous as Batman. So that's the first rumors to come out about that. Oh my God, chills on my arms thinking about it. I cannot wait to see Pattinson. I'm all in on it. All in.
I feel like that's got a chance to be like dethroning Christian Bale. I feel like that's got like.
See,
I
the interesting thing about those movies, and like Dark Knight's my favorite movie. Dark Knight and Empire Strikes Back. There's nothing better for me. People still shit on Christian Bale and call The Dark Knight like one of the best movies of all time. Like the people that love The Dark Knight don't necessarily love everything about Christian Bale's Batman. So I kind of agree with you.
Yeah, but just in general, even I feel like if you do it dark and you do it well, and
the fact that they said bordering on horror makes me so excited because we've never seen a Batman like that. We've seen a lot of campy Batman with George Clooney and Val Kilmer. The closest we got to that being probably the Dark Knight trilogy with Heath Ledger and some serial killer vibes. But like the Something in the Way Nirvana trailer, like the whole vibe of that, the red lights, the fact that Batman's bat symbol might be made out of the gun that killed his parents. Cool. That's pretty fucking gnarly. That's heavy.
I thought Scarecrow was horror-esque, where
definitely in Batman Begins, when you see Batman, what he sees, what Scarecrow sees Batman as, and he's got like black foam coming out of his mouth and
shit. When you said earlier, I don't even know how he would describe bad Doctor Strange, like it kind of looked like that. It looked like what Scarecrow sees, that dark Batman.
That's a really good point.
Imagine poor Christine being like, "What the fucking this guy.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah,
all like,
her
"It's
coming
me,
back
honey."
from life, like that's like waking up from a coma, and that's the first thing you see.
That guy's like, "Let's go get creme brulee." She's like, "Get the fuck out of here. You're a monster."
Yeah.
Oh man, I wanted creme brulee so bad by the end. And I was like, that's like the one thing. There's no way I'm just going out at 10 o'clock at night and be able to go get it here in
Boys,
fucking
what the
north of
fuck
Winterfell.
is that? I've heard that before when they said it. I've never had that. I don't know what that is.
It's like they it's like a sugary topping that they like
hit with the
torch. So it's
Yeah.
like hard, and then
I
on
think
the
I've seen
bottom
that.
it's like a little bit
like cream.
Yes.
Yes, it's like a custard almost. Yeah.
Custard, yeah.
I'm gonna have to try that. I want to
It's
try some
alright.
creme brulee. We might have to have a my mom's basement night where we go out and we all have creme brulee.
Yeah, I feel like it's good.
Hopefully
but
we don't get into a car accident. Knock on wood.
Yeah, you can't go in a car after you do that. That's a great point. But do you think Christine thought like she died and was like, I'm in hell now because the fucking devil was like
maybe
coddling me?
Yeah, she started thinking about everything she did wrong. Like,
and
why
that
the
was
fuck am I in hell?
That was, I think, the biggest thing about this What If is Strange is such an important Marvel character and he has so much time. He's the fucking Sorcerer Supreme. Is like, and I wanted to ask
cool
you
name,
this.
by the way. Sorcerer Supreme is
great.
just the best title.
So
awesome.
great.
Yeah.
So awesome.
One of the best nicknames the MCU has.
Bob, we're gonna go old school, say 90s, 2000s, WWF, WCW, whatever. What would you say Strange flipping to the, becoming a bad guy would be, equal to in terms of like an old school wrestler like that? Because that's like a seismic shift. And I think that's why the entire universe is fucked, is like, it would almost feel like, I guess, like, I don't know if Hogan is the answer, because Hogan obviously
Hogan might be the
well,
answer.
because
to be honest.
there is an element of like cockiness with
he
him.
started off bad though. Yeah, that's a good point.
It's like
there is like, because he's not, Doctor Strange is not like a pure white character. Where like Hogan is like the pure white soul,
He was,
your vitamins, whatever the fuck it is.
I get what about like when The Rock went?
I was gonna say
heel?
it's almost like, yeah, if The Rock had been like super baby face for a long time and then had like a shocking heel turn, which I'm not sure he did, but it would almost be equivalent to that because it wouldn't be Stone Cold.
Stone Cold.
Yeah, it could be the Hitman.
I
could
feel
be the
like
Hitman.
the Rock being like the swaggy, cocky guy, like talking about pie, and even when he's like the leader of the nation, and then going corporate, to me, Strange does have those.
Yes.
He's not like a bad
It's even
guy.
a little
He's selfish.
Macho Man. Macho Man got corrupted by Sherry,
That's
Strange.
true.
Like once Macho Man lost Elizabeth, everything went south for him.
Yeah.
That's a good fucking point, Bob. That's a good fucking point.
By the way, kind of an interesting thing. When I went to the WWE warehouse, I asked the archivist, "What's the number one Holy Grail item that you guys don't have that you're like, how do we not have that in the warehouse? We need it." And he said it's the Macho King crown. They have no idea where it is. Nobody knows where it is. He found blueprints of it from the jeweler that made the one and only $1 million championship. And he brought it to like that jeweler still in Connecticut. And he was like, did you guys make this? And they were like, oh yeah, we made it. We have no idea where it is now. But kind of crazy, like an interesting thing for, I feel like, old school wrestling fans to know, like that's the Holy Grail.
We got to go on like an Indiana Jones quest and find that shit.
That's what we said. We were like
in a museum.
Yeah, we were like, can we like make a documentary about trying to find this? Let's go steal the Macho King crown back. And they said they find like Ric Flair robes in people's fucking basements all the time because someone stole it from the back of an arena back in the day, gave it to their cousin, gave it to their whoever, and they can't give it in because it says Ric Flair on the back, so it's clearly stolen. And like he said, that's a normal thing for them to find. Kind of crazy.
Yeah,
that crown is in a fucking abandoned motel in Pensacola, Florida right now. We can go, we just have to find which one. I can tell you exactly where it is. The Macho Man, he was living some crazy days right around those times, I imagine, too. So we can find it. We just have to figure out which one of them. That's a great question, though, Bob. Good fucking question. That's our guy, Kev. Our Big J Journo right there.
There were some boxes in there, too, that they were clearly like nailed shut, and they were the wooden ones, and that was like Indiana Jones. I was like, is that the fucking Ark of the Covenant back there, sir? What is that?
Yeah.
One of the coolest things that wasn't in the video, by the way, because it was like we couldn't get a good shot of it, was they had the King of the Ring chair that Austin cut the Austin 316 promo on.
Wow.
We were like, holy fuck, that belongs in a museum. Like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Those are legit relics, man. Those are like, dinosaur bones to me. Those are like the most important.
They said one day there will be a museum. It's going to be a physical Hall of Fame and museum. So it'll be like
very cool.
I assume in Connecticut or Florida. I would assume those are the two places to do it in. But we have a couple what ifs, not a ton. I had one that I thought of myself, and I just wanted to throw it out to you guys. I apologize if it causes you any misery whatsoever.
Oh God damn it!
What if the Mets won the
I-
World Series in 2015?
I knew you were gonna say that. Not necessarily 15, but I knew the Mets was coming. What if? I'd be like
Frank the Tank. That because
Yeah.
Frank the Tank doesn't happen. He like the frustration from the New Jersey Transit. It doesn't boil over to become a viral video because he still has like his pain has been eased by
No,
2015.
no. Because we know Frank, he would still be
That's
doing
true.
it, but we would all just be like, "Shut the fuck up, man! We just won the World Series." Like what? Because he did that the year. When did he do that? Like much more after that, like a couple years after 2015. Right?
2017.
2017.
maybe?
Yeah. So by that point, we'd still be riding high. Maybe we make another appearance, and we'd just be like, "It's no big deal, dude. Right? Like we got a ring. Like relax." Then he just peters off. But God, that what is so crazy, and you can check the timestamps. I mean, I absolutely thought they were winning the World Series. The
Oh,
minute
yeah.
that the Royals clinched, I was like, the Mets are going to beat this team. The Mets are just better than the Royals. And I know that you can't say that they were because they lost in 5 games, but they fucking were. And they played
Happens
better than them
sometimes, yeah.
90% of this series. And it was just not when it counted the most. And it's just like I had never been. It took me so long to finally be confident in the Mets. Like even that playoff run, I was like, we're gonna lose to the Dodgers, we're gonna lose to the Cubs, and then we finally they finally earned my trust and my confidence, and I was like, they're gonna win, and then they crushed me. But man,
Hashtag contact.
I'd be a happy.
I know that
man.
I actually trolled KFC back in the day as a stoolie when the Mets won.
Contacts?
I filled up my entire contacts list with Kansas City Royals, and I just
I think I
screenshots
remember
sent
that.
it to
I
'em.
feel like I remember contacts like that. I mean, God,
It was as a stoolie, some of the best content I've ever when I was following Barstool just as a fan. That whole trip with you and Dan going game to game, Dave with the multiple shirts. Was that the Big Cat Big House picture?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, so much funny shit came out of that. The actual videos from the games of whatever team was up, Dave taking the shirt off.
So good, man. The Wrigleyville. I mean, the fact that Mets swept that was crazy.
Seeing the knockoff Barstool shirts in the window, which is now funny, being they sell knockoff Barstool shirts outside of the Barstool office. He's like, is there a physical store we could come to and buy Barstool shirts? Yeah, it's actually on the corner of fucking.
my fucking Danny Dime shirt is being sold bootleg right around our own goddamn office. Which is like, again, if they sell a bootleg of your shirt in New York City, that's the sign you made it. Shout out Trig. That's a Trig fucking mask. Put that on a resume. New York City's bootlegging my shit. And the fact we have GIF proof of Kevin was actually happy and able to troll someone else at Barstool because his team was doing good because
well, that's why when we got Cohen, I was like, watch out, man, because if you guys remember, everybody was like appalled with winner KFC because I was like, fuck everybody.
Oh yeah.
I've been waiting for this. Fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you. We're winning. And I mean, we probably would have sold a zillion t-shirts. I probably would have been, I don't know. I mean, it's an impossible question.
Would have sold a zillion t-shirts.
You would
have got so many emails from me trying to pitch t-shirt designs. I guarantee it. I was trying to pitch. I had Why Not Us shirts that year. I was trying to get.
Oh, that's great.
I had so many.
Wait, I would have when did you start?
Start sending shirts or start?
No. When did you start Barstool? Start at
Barstool. It was October of 2016.
Okay, so it wasn't much because I would have, if you asked me, was Bob Fox at Barstool when that happened, I would have said 100% yes.
Really?
I can't believe you were still just a fan at that point. I definitely thought you were there by then. But I mean, yeah, because it just feels weird. It's like, I guess that's 6 years ago, and it's a long time now. But
it's fucked up. I'm about to come up on half a decade at Barstool, and I feel like that's crazy because I still feel like the new kid sometimes.
No, man, you're OG. You're a vet, baby.
That's very strange to me.
Me and Bob Fox were 2 of the 3 horses in the Rundown commercial.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, it was me, Clem, and Glenny.
Absurd.
And for whatever reason, I was Big Cat's horse.
I was just gonna say, what a great trivia question. Who rode who? The Comedy Central Cowboy promo. Oh man, that's fucking hilarious.
We were there. I was there all day with Glenny jumping through the table with the cheese balls. You remember that?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, they
crazy,
were doing
man.
slow-mo camera.
Yeah.
What do
That
you
was
think
literally just
would
like, we have a
happen?
slow-mo camera. What should we do? And Dave was like, Glenn, you should jump through a table.
We were legit like kids in the backyard with the big camcorder making our own home movies. What do you think would happen? Like sometimes people tell me, you know, it's good that your team's lost all the time because that became, you know, your persona and your shtick, and that was your angle. And I'm always like, yeah, people will say you want them to lose so that you can do this. Like, I promise you, I don't. But I don't know what would happen. Like, if I thought we were going to get a taste of it this year, I'm hoping over the next couple of years we get it with Cohen, where it's just like, yeah, man, I'm living good because I've got the right owner. But you know, some people already, as I've been positive about the Mets, are like, fuck this, I don't like it. I want you hating on the team again.
Well, Dave, Dave is like,
yeah. And I'm like, I've said it over and over again. We said on the podcast, when we get new owners, we're not going to be the annoying, complaining fans. And now I'm, you know, I believe it. So I'm changed and people don't like it. I'm like, well, I mean, what more proof do you need that it's not a shtick or something I do for fun? When I'm already living it and they haven't even won yet. But I don't know. I'd love to find out though. Like, maybe I'll be like, maybe the Mets winning is my Christine, and what I got to do, like, I would, if you,
your absolute point.
So this is what I was saying earlier. Like, if you gave me some time travel fucking mechanism, I'm using it, bro. If you tell me like, no, the world will collapse, maybe. I'm like, well, then that maybe's enough for me to go back and have fucking Familia not quick pitch in the bottom of the ninth of the game one. Like, I'm changing all sorts of shit, and we'll roll the dice. I'm sorry. Right, Clem? See, he knows.
Rachel McAdams in time travel. She's in About Time. And I mean, our guy, Domhnall Gleeson, goes back in time many times
over and over again, you know, for her. Yeah. I mean, to me, it would take an absolute like guarantee if you told me like, all right, you can go back and save this, but like Bob Fox and his family is going to die, guaranteed. And then maybe I would be like, okay, no. I'd be like, sorry, Bob. See you later,
listen,
bro.
This episode did make me worry a little bit about Clem, that he's going to start summoning the dark magic to get Theo. I see the tweets every night. Bring me Theo. Bring me Theo. I'm like, oh no, this guy's gonna go down the dark path trying to get the dark hold for it.
Hey, you know what? If the Mets fucking are raising the World Series trophy, but everyone has like black oil rising from the heavens of the universe over, that still fucking counts. Give me your ring.
Okay,
I want a ring.
Would you sacrifice your leg, your busted calf? They tell you we got to amputate from the knee down, but we get a World Series.
It's like it's hard. If I didn't have kids, yes, but like I can't.
Bro, we could 3D print you a leg. We could 3D print you a leg
by Tuesday. I'll get you a
C-3PO one too. It'll look cool.
Yes. Okay, fine. C-3PO leg, I'm in. Because honestly, there's a chance like I'm not going to get this leg checked out because it's just not my like personality. I don't want to go to the doctor. So there's a chance I'm going to have to get it amputated because of that. So you guys owe me a C-3PO leg though. You're on the hook.
We'll give you Blade Runner like that guy. Remember, we'll give you those things. That'd be cool, kind of. I'm like, listen, my limbs kind of suck as is. Give me some fake ones. Let's go.
You could be like, what's the movie? It's the Grindhouse movie with the girl with the fucking
machine gun leg.
With the machine gun leg.
Yeah. But you could do like a Nerf gun or something. It could be an ad deal.
I think you're selling me, Bob. I said I'd definitely take Tommy John surgery for the Mets. Like going through that and you're all fucked up. And I take Patrick Ewing's knees for the Knicks championship. Like I'll take whatever it is.
I would have taken a lot for a McGregor beating Khabib, man. A lot.
Imagine, dude. What if Tommy Smokes was a bad luck charm and not a good luck charm?
Oh man, I mean, because he would still be called maybe alarmingly stupid by Dave, right? That's the thing that pulled him out of it, wasn't it?
That's absolutely it. And like, would he ever have then he got the ability to showcase all the reasons why he's, a funny guy and a good talent.
They call him Tommy Smokes because he's reeling in the smokes.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like if Tommy is a bad luck charm and Dave's like, get the fuck away from me. He's not banging 6'2" volleyball girls at DJs during the summertime. You know what I mean? And then does it spiral? Does the Pussy Posse never come together? Does the Fordham Pussy Patrol ever materialize? And does Tommy just go like, is he doing play-by-play for like the Staten Island Yankees single A ball and he never becomes the smoke monster? Because that's one of the more, when I do Barstool What Ifs, it's like, what if Doug's just didn't look like that video game character? What if Tank just caught the train? What if Tommy wasn't a good luck charm? Those are three of the more absurd how'd you get here stories.
Yeah.
Tommy's just like, yeah, man, My boss loved to like rub me during college football games, college basketball games. So I lived with him for 2 weeks. Weird.
You know what's funny about that too is like Tommy now is like so ingrained in Barstool that I feel like new fans would be so stunned to know that like the alarmingly stupid intern character. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Like when
especially
you would be called to on the rundown and it would just be like, oh, this guy knows nothing. We don't even like associate
yeah.
with him. It's like so like weird.
He prides himself on being like he always wins lowering the bar and the survivor.
He
Like
knows all the gossip in the office. He's the gossip king. Yeah.
I can outwit everybody. I'm the gossip king. And it's like, well, he started being like this moron who, I mean, and it was earned. It was like
He had,
asked you to
he had a
Google
few
basic
like
things,
unlucky, yeah, like just
it
things
was like
that he
we
said.
asked him like we were asking him what's a hematoma when when dude had and he was Googling Seinfeld or something. I was like, what are you doing, bro?
You know what's funny about you mentioned the Staten Island Yankees? Just rewatched not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, King of Staten Island. It was on TV and I caught like a little bit of it. And there's the scene in it where Bill Burr tells Pete Davidson, "Oh yeah, I got season tickets to the Yanks." And he's like, "Oh really? That's awesome." He's like, "Yeah, you want to come to the game, Staten Island?" And he was like, And I swear to God, my friend dad growing up, this guy Ed, great guy, did the exact same thing. He had season tickets to the Staten Island Yanks. He would tell everyone, "Oh yeah, they try harder in the minors." Like
oh, I've heard that.
Yeah,
This product is pure.
Absolutely,
game,
yeah. Staten Island, those are the Yanks.
What do you think? Staten Island Yankees season tickets are probably like $600.
Probably, yeah. I mean, you could probably show up to a Staten Island Yankee game, get like front row tickets for $15, which,
absolutely.
By the way, if people don't do that, I recommend it. Go to minor league baseball games. They are
So
a
fun.
delight. So
They
much
also-
fun. So cheap.
That single A level, they play I think they play 77 games and 79 nights. It's
Oh my
nuts.
God.
There's
That's
there's like
crazy.
one night off for the All-Star game.
Holy
And-
shit.
and, yeah, it's crazy. It's like one of the craziest schedules. It's like not a fun life. You're on the bus
No,
and you're always
Bull Durham
playing.
life, yeah.
And if there's double headers because of rainouts, like they go hard, man.
And sometimes you see wacky stuff. Like I remember going and seeing the Staten Island Yankees and watching an ambidextrous pitcher who would like switch, the weird glove. And like that's the stuff that you don't know if you're gonna go see in the majors. Maybe once in a blue moon you will, but that's the kind of stuff that just happens in the minors.
Minor league ball was the last place. I don't even think they're allowed to do it anymore. It was the last place you might catch like a 10-cent beer night sort of thing.
Yeah.
And the people are like blacked out and puking and fighting. I don't know if they're allowed to do it anymore, but that was, my major league guys stopped a long time ago. And then the last bastion of ridiculous drink prices was minor leagues. I don't think they do it anymore. But
well, ready for this one here? I just looked it up. Staten Island Yankee full season plan, $418 for 38 games. And you could add an all-you-can-eat option for an additional $532 per seat. I thought it was an extra $120 per seat, so it was going to be it's an extra. So you're basically paying more for the all.
You're paying more for the food than the product. That makes sense. It's like
right?
You know what you're going to get with dogs and beers and shit. You don't know what you're going to get with these fucking kids playing ball.
It's a good
$400. If I had my kids and I lived on Staten Island, I would for sure pay $400 and then just go whenever, you don't have to go to all 38 games. Just go to, whenever you want.
Yeah,
fuck
definitely. That's worth it.
$400 say you have season tickets to the Yankees. That's all you got to do. That's worth it in itself. And you're not lying. You can't fail a lie detector test, right?
We have
back to Marvel. Let's go.
This one's actually not a Marvel what if. It made me laugh. It's actually the only like fan what if that I have written down. I could go back to Twitter and find some more. This one's from Michael J. Fats, longtime listener. Appreciate you, Michael. He says, "What if Robbie's older siblings had been into 80s and 90s hip hop instead of rock? And I think I'd basically just become KFC."
I was gonna say you'd be me. That's my life. You would be just like me.
I'm pretty sure I become KFC. Like we're going through the same interest, the nerdy stuff, the hip hop interest. I think that's just us.
Honestly, hey, it's your boy, Robbie Fox here.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole reason. There's not as much of an age gap, but the whole reason I liked all the music I liked, all the sports that I liked, everything was because of Brendan. So like, I mean that some of the music we were listening to, man, I was like 6 years old listening to Death Row Records, like not stuff I should have been doing and listening.
I was
to.
6 listening to Slipknot. That those were the two branched realities of our path.
There was a song on Montel Jordan's album, the album that had "This Is How We Do It" on there. and there was a line where this guy just said, "Who's pimping who?" and shit like that. And I just ran around as like a 7-year-old being like, "Who's pimping who?" and shit like that. I had no idea what it meant. I'm like, what were my parents doing? God,
That's
First
the
CD they
best
ever
when
bought was
you
the Chronic.
the innocence of legitimately not knowing what words meant. Like I
Oh.
have told the story before, but DX once put out a shirt that said Vince loves, and it had a picture of a rooster on it. And I had no idea what cock meant, but I thought it just meant like you're a chicken. I thought it meant like, oh, you're a chicken, you're a wimp.
Right.
So I walked up to my mom as like a 6, 7-year-old and straight up said, like, can I get the new DX shirt? She knew that it said, suck it and stuff. So she would never let me get suck it shirt. She said, what does it say? And I said, I swear it doesn't say anything bad. It just says Vince loves cock. And she was like, what? I did not get that shirt. Wasn't allowed to get it.
I bet.
I have one more what if. I wanted to read this one. It's from our guy Nathan Hurst, who's done all the My Mom's Basement art, our logo. I'm glad he has been with us all this time. I wanted him to be a part of the 200th episode here. He said, what if James Cameron was in charge of the Marvel Universe? This is a great one because I think I have an answer. I think we have one Avengers movie, and I think Avengers 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all written and slated to come out in 2028.
I like that.
I don't think we have 23 movies. I think we have like 2 movies, and we're like, yeah, they were pretty good, but like, does anyone care anymore?
You know what I think is the big difference? How old is Kevin Feige?
Probably late 40s, early 50s. Does that sound right?
So he's still like young, on the younger side, 48, right?
Yeah.
To be in control of versus what's James Cameron like?
James Cameron's probably in his 60s, right?
He is 67.
Yeah.
So I kind of said this in my 1 Minute Man about the Spider-Man trailer, like what Marvel does so good now. And I think it's because they have people much closer to, if not totally in our generation, like Waldron. They just like they give the fans what they want. They do.
Oh, yeah.
Like when they hear a what if type of storyline, or there's an Easter egg, or there's a rumor, or there's something from the comics that people do want, that's possible, they just do it. And I feel like James Cameron and a lot of the old movie makers would be like, we have to do like my vision and what I think. And
I think that's very accurate.
You can't just give the masses what they want. And part of what's so cool about it, it's like I remember you being like, I think we're going to see Captain America wield the hammer.
Yes.
And they just gave it to you because
it was the ultimate payoff. And it felt so much better that like it was a thing people were like, I think it could happen. Like, they were like whispers. And then when it pays off, it was like, oh my God, it was the most biblical moment I ever experienced in a movie theater.
And Cameron would have been like, well, no, we can't do that because whatever.
Yeah, in the Norse mythology. Actually, right.
Yeah. And like, everyone's talking like, I think we're going to see all the Spider-Men in one movie. And like, I'm pretty sure they're going to do
we
that.
all want them to point at each other at some point and be like, hey, like.
And even that, like Waldron, those guys mixing up, that would be like, yeah, let's just throw the meme in there.
And by the way, speaking of Waldron, have to shout out his current show Heels, which is on Stars, this wrestling show. There's a Barstool reference in episode 3, which I didn't expect because I saw the screeners, but I think the CGI wasn't done on the screeners that I saw. And there's a moment in the show where there's like a scandalous video that would be on like TMZ, like this guy exposes himself on an airplane, a wrestler, this old school wrestler, Wild Bill. And the fucking Barstool logo's on the video. And in episode 4, look out for someone walking up to Wild Bill and saying, hey, I saw your video on Barstool last night. So Waldron throwing in little Barstool nods. He's just the fucking man. That's
what I mean. I think all those guys are cool, young enough, in tune enough. I think James Cameron's always kind of been a stuffy asshole about that stuff. So I feel like the Avengers, that whole world would be worse off. Although it would probably be the same, if not a better spectacle. I feel like that's
do you think he would cast like Schwarzenegger as Iron Man or something?
Yeah, I feel like all of that would have just been off and old school.
Sigourney Weaver would definitely be in it. And Sigourney Weaver would probably be Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Nikita Fury. All right, that's it for What If this week. Kevin, thank you for joining us. I love having you here for the What Ifs, breaking this stuff down with you, especially the Barstool What Ifs. I feel like you're made for that stuff. So
thank you guys,
I appreciate all the listeners who have been here. 200 episodes. That's wild. Not episode 200, but 200 episodes. Big distinction. We're sticking to the George Lucas mythology, and I hope that 20 years from now, people go back and they say, "Should you listen to My Mom's Basement in chronological order or release order?" And people are like, "What does that even mean,
I
bro?" That
love
release order was chronological order. All right, I will talk to everybody next week for another What If recap, and look out for some interviews coming midweek.